Mike, do you like the options you now have with 20 games to go in the season following what happened the last couple of days?
Yeah, but I mean, what I really like about Eric Ferrer is a real good pro. I've known of him for a long, long time. He's won a Stanley Cup. He's a good man. Can penalty kill, can do whatever you need to have done. He's here to be a good influence in the room and to be a good pro, and ideally some of his habits wear off on our guys. And between him and Boiler, I think we've really improved that part of our room, which is real important for us.
Having been there, getting 23 games into the spring, obviously a valuable asset.
Well, not just that. I played in Washington for a long time and then played on real good teams, and you get used to winning and you know how to win, and you prepare like a winner. Yeah, you live like a winner, you act like a winner, you do things like a winner, and the next thing you know, you're winning. And so to me, what he's trying to do is get you to move the mic down. Yeah, then what happens is that wears off on other people, and so we want our young guys being around as many guys like that we possibly can.
How did it feel for you being a buyer at the deadline as a coach after last year, where it was more kind of like selling off pieces and trying to figure out the future direction of this team?
Well, I've been a buyer, ever since I've been in the National Hockey League. So last year was the only year that was different. Now this year, it's a different kind of buying too. Let's be honest. You're being real careful. You're not getting ahead of yourself, and yet you're trying to acquire things you think you need to help your group grow, so that you can be a contender year in and year out. And so that's what we're trying to do, and ideally we helped our group. Now obviously we got a big game here today. You can do anything you want. The game's played on the ice, and so we got to get out and play a real good LA team. It was real hard on us last time we played them, and so this should be fun for our group here tonight.
Mike, how much are you going to lean on veterans like Bozak and JVR down the stretch here, final 20 games, to step up the way?
Well, that's up to them, right? So who's ever playing the best getting to play the most. So that's the great thing about this time of year is you have an opportunity. Everybody has an opportunity to lead, and we need those guys to be at the best, and we need everyone to be at the best, because the games are way tighter, as you've seen. Now, when your team's no good, the league doesn't pick up, because the games you play, they don't get ready for you. But when you're in it, now they're ready for you, and they will need the points, and we need the points.
Any idea might get in, do you think?
Yeah, not today for sure, and then I don't know, but I'm not as concerned, and I've made it very clear to him that way.
Mike, Drew Doughty, when you think to when you coached him in Vancouver, just a young guy making the defense corps there, to now where his game has come, I mean, did you know back then that he could become the defenseman that he's been?
Well, he's a star. I mean, and he was a star then. He can stick handle in the phone booth for a D-man. He sees it offensively and defensively, much different than a lot of the other offensive defensemen. He can play without the puck as good or better than anybody. He's got no fear. He can shoot it. He can play physical. He can play all night long. He's as good as they get.
What type of steps has Kadri made since you've been here to become the player he's kind of turned into for you guys?
Well, I think he's made lots of steps, but he's got a lot more steps to go, and we need him to dig in. We talked about Bozak and Van Riemsdyk, but Naz's guy's got to really dig in, and then after this year, he's got to have another big summer, and those are all part of how long you want to play in the league and how good you want to be. Because the guys that really train and really dig in and look after themselves, they get to play in the league longer than the guys who don't do anything and just play on skill.
So what's your confidence level, Mike, now with this roster as it stands, as we know it's finalized in the final 20 games, and what the push will bring for you?
Well, I mean, it's good, but it's always good. I would tell you in my heart and in my mind, when I walk into the rink every day, I expect to win. And it's never been any different. It's the same last year.
Mike, would you like your players to have that game against LA from way early in the season on their minds tonight as motivation, or is it so long ago that it's kind of...
Yeah, I can hardly remember it, except it was a shellacking. And but to me is we played a game the other night that the other team was better than us, played harder than us, competed. Their veteran players were better than our veteran players, and really set the tone. And we can't have that again. We got to respond here today, and it should be a lot of fun.
And you perhaps still happy to see a guy like Jerome possibly get a shot here in LA?
Well, I mean, obviously he's a good man. I've had him before and known him a long time. I was telling the guys today, his last game in junior was against the Spokane Chiefs. We beat him out. Next night, I remember watching the game, and he ran over Chelly. There it was Chicago, Calgary. So it's been a lot of years, obviously. I coached him into the Olympics and been around him a lot, and I'm a big fan, and he's a nice gentleman. And obviously has a real history with Darryl here, so he'll be a good addition.